Alrighty, fellas, good morning. Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. Welcome back to the PokeMMO Stream Recap, your daily source of tips, tricks, information, and what's happening inside the PokeMMO community. We have some catch events to cover today, as well as a new thing that I'm going to go ahead and start doing because so many people play PokeMMO, they grind the game, they do all these cool things, and they don't get enough appreciation, enough love, and enough of their proper claps, for their grinds and for their achievements. So I'm gonna start trying to shout out some shinies that pop up in my Discord. If you don't know my Discord, there's a page called Shiny Hunting, and you can post your shinies there. And it's crazy. It's almost crazy because we can get desensitized to insane shinies. The amount of people pulling Shalfas, eggs, all these crazy shinies every single day. It'll drive you a little crazy. You have to keep in mind, even just getting any time swipe horde shiny in PokeMMO is difficult and is a flex and is rare. It's crazy how many people have gotten better at shiny hunting over the years, as well as how many more people are doing it. I always say back in 2013, shiny hunting was not considered a real in-game activity. People would make fun of you if you tried to do it. It was just so rare. Anyways, let's jump into first things first, the catch events over on the forums. And with that, we have a Plusle and Minun catch event coming up on the 23rd of November. That is Sunday, the 23rd of November at 12 p.m. ET, Route 110 in Hoenn. You have 1 hour to catch only Plusle over at that location. +5 for Timid, +3 for Modest. And then a shiny Minun is the prize. I think the shiny Minun is much better than Plusle. So I respect them going with the Plusle catch and then the Minun as the actual prize. Really good shiny Pokemon, 3x28. Also, it's more relevant than ever. If you played the recent Halloween event, you know this, but Minun and Plusle were literally raid meta Pokemon. Having that plus ability, getting that boost off of 3 or 4 mons on the field at once is a really insane damage buff. So if you want a raid ready meta shiny Pokemon, you could win this shiny Minun. It's that relevant of a catch event. It's a pretty big one. So next up, Trubbish. I love Trubbish and Garbodor. This art is actually so sick. This is so cool. What the hell? The Windgalls and the dump. This is on the 22nd of November, so the day before. I believe it's Saturday and Sunday, right? Yeah, these two catch events take place. The PokeMMO staff, shout out Deus Bruno, shout out to I don't know if I've seen this guy, new staff member. Welcome if so. If maybe I just haven't seen you, my apologies. T Wick. I have seen more catch events than ever that are happening Saturday, Sunday. I feel like a lot of the PokeMMO staff are working really hard to try to only schedule catch events on the weekends where possible. You got to give your clappers to those guys and just say thanks. It's really cool to see, in my opinion. That's something a lot of people complained about over the years, and nowadays I think we've really ironed out. There's things we're ironing out in PokeMMO, and we're fixing and we're solving, and then we're just moving on to the next thing, right? We're just complaining about VGC just came out. VGC is in the game, and I feel like it came out during the event, so not a lot of people talked about it. It kind of got skipped over, but people have been asking for VGC for 2 years now, and now it's in the game. That's fucking awesome, Anyways, Trubbish catch event the 22nd of November at noon ET, Route 5 in Unova. You can catch Trubbish, Solosis, Gothita, Minccino, and then a +3 for Modest, +2 for Rash, -5 for Adamant on the little nature bonuses. And there is a shiny Trubbish up for grabs. I love shiny Trubbish. Kind of a tough shunt. I have shunted Trubbish in the past. I've done it twice. I got 2 phases. I got Minccino twice. I would love to get a shiny Trubbish either on the Iron Man account or on the main account. It's something the problem is I love shiny Trubbish and Garbodor, so I really want 2 actually, and I've gotten 2 phases. One day it'll even out. One day it'll even out, okay? And then next up, we have some viewer shinies. Congrats to Milas. I believe this was just a really, I love shiny Celio. Just a fantastic, it's a ×5 horde hunt next to a PC, if you aren't aware. A ×5 horde hunt. Congrats to Milas. 31 HP at 38,000 encounters. This is just your classic, earned, deserved, really cool shiny, really pretty shiny. Shout out to them. Next up, a shiny Zorua. Now, this came from a swarm. This did not, these are all caught today, by the way, which is what'll really break your brain. These are all caught on November 17th, which is just stay with me. Also, this was a swarm Zorua caught by Bro Slowbro. Nice name. 31 speed, timid, 28 special attack. This is a wild caught, ready to use Zorua. Insane from a swarm. Bro was he was still shaking or still couldn't believe it. Swarm shinies are something really special. I hope to one day get one. Congratulations to him. Very fucking cool to see. Next up, a shiny Ducklet. I don't have all the extra details, but this is an egg shiny. Ducklet's an egg shiny, so this took him a few hundred hours and over 150 mil Pokeyen most likely to get on average. It's an extremely rare shunt. A lot of people don't go for Ducklet because, you know, if you had to pick between, it's like the same cost to egg shunt Ducklet versus Beldum. Not necessarily, but like pretty close. Most people go Beldum or like Charizard or, you know, these big crazy. Not a whole lot of people love Ducklet as much as those, and I love to see. I'm a Chuckle guy, I'm a Rampardos guy, so I love seeing these people who like really love shit like this. Congrats to Ving T Sink, sorry if I butchered your name. Amazing shiny Ducklet. I love seeing people go for Ducklet. And then next up, this is a shiny Phoebus on his second phase. This is OT shiny number 55 for an Optic member. Shout out to Team Optic. This is Dara. Apparently he has been on a fucking roll. He has been gaming. 38,000 encounters in on phase 2. This is a 55 OT shinies. This is a shunter. This is a real as fuck shunter in PokeMMO. I want to shout out these guys who are working hard, doing really cool stuff in the game. They're keeping their head down. They're working hard. They're not complaining. They're not yelling. They're not screaming. They're not doing all these things in the community. They're just playing the game and having fun. And I think it's really important to appreciate those people, you know, to appreciate the real ones who are just enjoying the fucking game. Shout out to him, man. Next up, this is their Kinda-Sober. This is Kinda-Sober's second Shalfa. It is a Shalfa Yanma, 31 HP, 31 attack, 31 speed, naughty nature. At 51,000 encounters dry. I love Shalfas. You could barely see the red outline in this picture, but like it is a Shalfa. One of the best Shalfas you could get, Shalfa Yanma. Like it's so sick, and it's I don't know if he'll evolve it. I don't know what's. I love this. Congrats to him. You got it at 2 a.m. today. What's really crazy is like people are really getting, like, people have 2 Shalfas. 1 Shalfa is hard enough, right? 1 Shalfa is hard enough. Having 2 Shalfas is just, I can't even fathom it. It's literally hard to believe. It's just so, it takes so much time. It's such dedication. It's so much love for the game. I love these shunters who are just fucking playing the game and they're really doing it for them. You know, they're really doing it because they love it and they want that sense of achievement. And I think it's a beautiful thing to shout them out. So congrats to all you guys. And I would love to continue this kind of pattern and shout out more people in the future. Post your shinies that you get on the day, fresh shinies, in my shiny hunting chat in my Discord. And I would love to look for new players, all types, like ×5 hordes, ×3. If you have a story attached to your shiny, feel free to give more information. I'd love to shout out players who are just playing the game and having fun. Next up, I do want to do a little bit of a market watch, a little bit of a market check, because this is our first stream post Halloween events. There are a lot of things going on. The mysterious dust ball has, let's see, this is what I kind of expected. You might notice most things have gone down just a little bit since the end of the event, and I talked about this. Towards the end of events, we see a lot of FOMO. We see a lot of people buying stuff last minute, and then kind of that it's buyer's remorse, a lot of buyer's remorse in that final few days, right? Would right now still be a good time to invest? I think if you didn't invest yet, it's a great question, by the way. I would wait until, what I'm going to do personally, and it's like maybe I will invest, maybe I won't. I'm going to wait until the Christmas event. It is very often you can find, let's switch to rare candies. Yeah, rare candies are up a little bit. Rare candies tanked a lot in this event. A lot of rare candies came into the game. These were like 14 to 18k, I believe, prior to the update. You probably could go check. Let's see if we can see the price. Look at this. Look at this. 16, 17, 18k before the event. Holy, what a and that's like, you might see that and be scared or worried. I don't think this is really a bad thing. I think rare candies being cheap is mostly fine. And they will go back up. Look at this, has 1100. This is a crazy drop. I will say, I hope it all comes down to like how much supply is truly. Does this guy fucking own like all the supply? This guy has, out of 3,800 in stock, this guy has a third of the stock almost. Maybe like a fourth. That's wild. What did you invest on the main for Halloween? I'm gonna be so honest, I didn't invest in this event. I'm gonna be so honest. I didn't feel super confident about it, super comfortable. There are things that I could have invested into that I thought about, but I think the oversupply was just so drastic. I don't know. I don't trust it. It's too risky in my opinion. It's too, I don't know if there's enough room for market growth in my opinion. I think there's still a lot of mysterious dust balls are based. Yeah, I'm not trying to like. If you invest in this event, it's not wrong by any means. I watch me, like, watch Froggy go up to, watch me be totally wrong. You know, that happens. I've been so wrong in the past. But because of the amount of players that played this event, I think that there won't be as many players returning for Christmas or Lunar New Year event because they burned themselves out or they burnt out their capital or things like that. I've always said historically Halloween's actually the worst event to invest into because tensions are high every year during Halloween. People are always really frustrated. It's usually been a few months since an update. That wasn't really the case this year, but like we just see a lot of Halloween's always such a hectic event is what I would say. A lot of people don't seem to like it. I really enjoy it. It's probably my favorite event, honestly, to play. But in terms of investments, usually Christmas or Lunar New Year. Yeah, Halloween's very unpredictable. Halloween is very, it's a great way to, Halloween's so unpredictable. I'm going to wait for the Christmas and Lunar New Year events to really see, because often I always say people will buy mysterious dust balls or buy investments from the Halloween event during Halloween and then sell them off because they're impatient later on in the Christmas event or Lunar New Year. Do not do this. If you are someone, if you invested in dust balls or, I'm trying to save you some Pokeyen, right? If you invested in these things and you just sell them off when Christmas comes or Lunar New Year event comes, you're going to end up losing money or making almost no money. You're wasting, you had your capital tied up in Pokeyen and now it did nothing. There's just, you got to be patient. You have to be patient if you want to invest. If anything, double down. Something I've done is mysterious great balls. Mysterious great balls, and this is they've actually dropped a bit, so it's a good example. 2023s, these ones, excuse me. I love Mysterious Great Ball 2023s. I've invested a lot into these on the main account, and I've done very, very well. They have dropped recently. This is a good example of a time where it might be worth to double down or buy the dip, per se, right? And I've done this before. There was a situation where these Mysterious Great Balls were like 70K, and then an event dropped, and they dropped down to like 42K, and I was invested in a shit ton. I could have panic sold mine. I could have, panicked or whatever, right? Instead, I bought more. While they were 42K, and they immediately went back up to that 70K as soon as the event was over. And I was like, okay, I just made it like a fucking bandit, because you're able to like trust why an item is worth. You have to understand why something is worth something, Yeah, I honestly might be tempted to buy more of these. I love the Mysterious Great Ball 2023s because they have I think they have like the best price per shiny rate of all the Mysterious Balls. The one in 4,000, it's their 1 in 4,000 versus all the other ones are mostly 1 in 6,000. They got nerfed, and these were so good they literally nerfed them in previous years. That's how you have to understand how good the Mysterious Great Ball 2023s were. That 1 in 4K shiny rate can actually get reduced to, you would minus 400 first. That's 10%. You would pop a shiny charm into donator status. You can lower it by 10%, then 10% again. So you do this minus 360. You can literally get the shiny rate with these Mysterious Great Balls down to 1 in 3,240, which is crazy. Now, it's still really expensive. Like, to actually buy enough on average to get a shiny is going to cost, like, I think billions of Pokeyen, right? It's something stupid. That's honestly way less than I expected. 200 mil. It's obviously a lot, but, like, you're saving potentially hundreds or thousands of, you're saving a lot of hours. You could also just save like 28 hours though if you get like a times 5 forward shiny. So that's the risk. That is the risk, right? So just interesting to see. Great market questions. All right, we are jumping back into, though, playing PokeMMO. I'm going to go get ready for my gym rerun. We are grinding on the Iron Man account. We are in our rebuild stage. I think most people in PokeMMO are going to be in their rebuild stage. Everybody's processing loot from the Halloween event, as well as rebuilding. Keep an eye on Amulet Quint prices, Richest Charms, expect maybe Typhlosion, Cyndaquils. Check anything that makes pure yen right now. Keep an eye on those markets. Things like Trainer Rerun Cloisters. I think people are going to be needing those in massive troves. People are going to be needing to get back. Everybody's gonna get back to pure yen grinding and rebuilding for Christmas. Anyways, let's jump into it. Thanks for watching the stream recap. Like it if you enjoy it, dislike if not, that's okay, and subscribe for daily PokeMMO videos. Wait, that's actually that's a great point. I know the market's in a really rough spot, so I'm not trying to, like, pretend otherwise. However, a brightness in the darkness, boys, is shiny charms. Shiny charms are like the cheapest they'll ever be. Since RP is so cheap, since RP tanked so much during the... Honestly, this is amazing for free-to-play players. Like, if you're a free-to-play, which I am on all my accounts, right? I've only seen that term pop up recently. It's funny to me because I think most PokeMMO players are free-to-play or spend very, very little, but some people really care about that. I don't know. I've played this game for 12 years and I've spent $20. I think most people are, I don't know, in that kind of camp, or at least, yeah, I don't know. But if you are, you know, a free-to-play player, if you want to call it whatever, RP being cheaper, shiny charms being like this cheap, this is the cheapest they'll ever be. It's a perfect time to pounce on this kind of stuff, so definitely take advantage of it if you're like a newer or a lower capital player. Okay, a lot of people are talking about like how I'm preparing for Christmas and Christmas prep. I'm not quite there yet, but for anybody on main accounts, if you want to know how to prepare for Christmas, hopefully this little clip can help you out at least a little bit and get started. I do have a video on my channel if you have not seen it called how to prepare for the event season in PokeMMO 2025, and that video is going to help you with all the preparation possible for the most part. Keep in mind with Christmas, there is less to prepare overall than Halloween. There's less content, but there are more raids. So Christmas, we also might get elf bots returning this year, which is an older piece of content. Keep in mind, I'm trying to think, the main things, right, if I were to tell you the main things to prep right now, raid Pokemon and Pokeyen. I mean, the two biggest things are Pokeyen. You want to just get Pokeyen stocked up, pure yen, as well as raid Pokemon. And the problem is during Christmas there are 12 raids. There are literally 12 raids. It's you know, was that 33% more raids than Halloween. It is a lot. It is stressful. It's, if you aren't prepared for those 12 raids ahead of time, you're gonna be in a really tough situation. So please take the time while you can now to prepare raid Pokemon. Just if you're trying to make them during the event, it's gonna feel too late and you're gonna feel cramped and you might not be able to do all the raids. Now the question of like what are those 12 raids gonna be should be in that video and should be in my older, if you look up PokeMMO Christmas event 2024, I have a full playlist and tons of videos and guides all towards that last year's event. So check those out if you need help, and I'll do a 2025 Xmas prep guide as we inch closer to the event itself. Okay, shout out to Cav with the minor polite correction. Actually tried, there were 14 raids last year, and there was also Suicune, which was the 15th raid. What? So there's 12 regular raids. That's what I'm remembering. There was 12. Okay, Jirachi 4 and Jirachi 5. I would count that as one personal. Well, I don't know. It kind of is true. You do different teams. There was 12 regular raids. Jirachi 4-star raid. I forgot Jirachi's gonna be coming back this year. I forgot about, dude, there's so much new stuff in Pokemon. I'm like, forget, it's so crazy. Yeah, Jirachi is new. Jirachi is a new, like, will most likely come back this year, similar to like Darkrai type raid. So 12 regular raids, Jirachi 4-star, Jirachi 5-star, and then the Suicune Alpha. The Suicune Alpha raid is unlikely to return this year, but we might see like a Raikou Alpha or other legendary Alpha raid in its place, and that'll be one of the most difficult raids of the event. Great call from Cav. You know what? It's a good question. How are people playing VGC? I hope they are. I know the reality is, I don't know. Even though VGC has been added, I don't know if that many people are playing it right now. Number one, because the Halloween event overshadowed the release of it. And then number two, I bet a lot of people are still exhausted post-event and don't really want to grind PvP after. I don't really want to grind PvP after the event, as well as a lot of people might just not have VGC teams built yet, right? It's not like Showdown you can just load up, right? So with all that in mind, if these numbers are low, don't panic. I think just things are kind of interesting right now. Yeah, and that makes sense. There's only 2,400 VGC games played so far, and that is pretty low. But let's check, like, OU's gonna have like way more. OU's gonna be, but even this is really low for OU. 63,000. Usually OU, it's like, I want to say usually they have like 400,000, 450k games at the end of each month. Maybe like somewhere between like 300 to 450k like games at the end of each month. We're halfway into November. There's only been 63k. So if we double that or triple that, we might get to like 120, 180. That is much less games than usual, but it's because once again there's an event. There's holiday events going on. There's other things going on. So PvP being overshadowed a little bit is unfortunate, but it is cool. I would love to try to spectate some VGC games and see. VGC is such a fun format to do they add? Is this new? Untiered PvP statistics. Wait, what is this? You can't queue up for untiered, can you? Is that a bug? That's so weird. Why can you view the stats, but this is weird. What is this for? That's so strange. Huh. Anyways, yeah, PvP has been a little forgotten right now, a little bit neglected, but I'm curious to see once the dust settles, like how VGC is doing and how those games play out. It's such a fun game to watch, a really fun game to watch, and a really fun game to spectate. Yo, Iron Men, listen up. I'm going to shout this out for you guys. This only really matters for Iron Men. The most important OU PvP reward is currently live, but you only have 8 days to go earn it from this point, okay? If you are an Iron Man, this is literally your only way to get a Mach Punch Egg Move access Conkeldurr with really good stats. You cannot breed these on an Iron Man account because you cannot evolve Girder back up into Conkeldurr, or it's a trade evolution. So if you are an Iron Man, this is literally like the most important PvP reward you could possibly get. I am unfortunately not going to be partaking in that because the last thing I want to do after grinding the event 14 hours a day is to start a PvP grind. Like, that's the last thing I want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, have fun. You know, I'll have to just get the conch when it comes back. But if you are an Iron Man account and you're feeling up to it, try to go for that conch. It's a really sick reward. Okay, this is an interesting question. I'm going to give my thoughts on it. Feel free to agree, disagree. Everybody's different, you know, yada, yada, yada. Someone said, I'm at 28,000 encounters right now, Patrouski, and I've never caught a shiny. The last time I encountered one, I was finishing my first region, which was Unova. I got a shiny Crocodile, but I didn't have a Master Ball or a catching Pokemon, so I think you lost it seems like. Do you think now is the time to stop and shunt? I know it can go crazy high number. Stop and shunt. I don't know if I understand. Now, what I would say is just, I think a lot of newer players are getting into shunting. I haven't been shunting, so I haven't been talking about it, which is maybe why it's like going by the wayside. You have to keep in mind, you got to enjoy shunting. If you are someone who only enjoys when you get the shiny, I don't know if it's the activity for you. I don't, like, it's gonna be a really, like, I don't know if that's, and you know yourself better than me. I'm just proposing ideas. Please don't take this as I'm telling you how you feel. You know, it's you know better than me. But I would be concerned. Yeah, it's not. At 28,000 encounters, you are not more likely to get a shiny. It's the same odds. There's a lot of fallacies here with, like, you have to just... The TLDR is just shiny hunt when it sounds fun to you. Like, to me, I wanted to shiny hunt today, so I'm just doing it, you know? It's one of those things, like, if I could give any piece of advice to any shiny hunter, it's you have to enjoy the journey and not the destination. If you only enjoy the destination, you may not... It may not be for you, which is totally fair. Shiny hunting isn't for most people, which is like, you know, it's an activity that is very long term and it's very unfruitful until you get that shiny. But so you have to enjoy the journey. I actually have a meme. Is it this meme? Yes. I love I'm obsessed with this meme. This is a edited version of the mining meme. And I genuinely think this meme displays the thought process of shiny hunting better than any way I've ever been able to explain it. The bottom person is the person who he hit the diamonds. He got the shiny and now he's sad. His hunt is over. His journey is over. He has no goal. He has no purpose. He has no reason to keep playing or living in the PokeMMO world. Okay. He's sad because he achieved his goal. The top guy is the person who hasn't achieved his shiny, right? He's still hunting and he's excited and he's happy to be hunting because he knows that he's working for something and he wakes up every day with a purpose and a goal. I think it's really, really interesting. But he's full of dopamine. The guy at the bottom is full of dopamine for a little bit, for like 10, you know, a few, maybe like a day max for like, you know, certain things, but like only for, it doesn't last, you know, it's like motivation, right? Philosophy, stream. It's shiny hunting. Hilariously, is very philosophical. It gives you a lot. It's a lot of just sitting down. It's honestly meditative if you just sit and like shiny hunt and think, and like it makes you question like your goals and reasons for life and like your categorical desires and all these dumb little meme terms, you know. But it's really important. I love shiny hunting. I think if you have to enjoy the, and like a good reminder is you don't need to enjoy the journey all the time. I think if you enjoy shiny hunting 80% of the time, but like 20% it's frustrating, that's called being a human. Maybe even 50, you know. You don't have to enjoy it all the time. Delayed gratification is important. Yeah, there's a lot of things to factor, and hopefully that clears some things up. But I would encourage people, like, if you don't enjoy shiny hunting during the journey, try to take a break or try to it may not be for you, you know. Great question. I think it's a great thing. And like, or you could just maybe one day you will, maybe you don't enjoy it at first, but you'll start to understand and get, like, everybody should try shiny hunting for like one time swipe horde shunt. I think is enough to get the mental build of like what you might enjoy, whether you enjoy it or not. But obviously most people aren't going to do that. It's too much time, you know. Do whatever you enjoy. Go shunt whenever you like it. That's the really boring easy TLDR is just shiny hunt whenever you like. That's the really simple answer. Let me do a quick clip on this because some people don't know the math on how crazy this is. Chum buckets are insane. If you are doing any fishing shiny hunt, you should be using chum buckets. Someone said, yeah, but chum buckets are really expensive. They feel that way, and I get it. You're right, but they save you an hour of time. They literally double your encounters while fishing, which is insane. They take you from 220 encounters per hour up to like 440, right? 460 maybe even. The question you have to ask yourself is, would you pay 80,000 Pokeyen to save an hour of your time? I would pay like 300, like so much more than this, you know? Like you would pay equal to that of like your gym run essentially, right? Like maybe a little bit less. 80k to save an hour of your time is insanely. Chum buckets are so good, like, are, in my opinion, broken. They're so broken that if you can't afford them, it is better to go make some Pokeyen. Like, here, let's do the math. It is better to go make, not fishing shiny hunts, go make the Pokeyen and then come back to fishing shunt. That's how, like, good they are and how much time. That's the problem with them, is they're so powerful that if you aren't using them while fishing shunting, you're doing it inefficiently, which sucks. Like, that sucks, you know? Yeah, one gym rerun is like 4 chum buckets. Yeah, it's really, yeah. So the math is, right? So, like, if you could go do one gym rerun and make 300,000 Pokeyen profit, that's 1 hour of your time, right? That is 80k. That's, yeah, let's say 3. So okay, let's just make it really easy. Let's say you get 3 chum buckets per one Jimmy run, right? So you could go fish without chum buckets. Let's say you have one person who does 1 hour of Jimmy runs and then 3 hours of fishing. Both players play, there's 2 players, both players play for 4 hours. One does a Jimmy run and then buys chum buckets and fishes for 3 hours. The other player just fishes for 3 hours, okay? The player who spends no money on chum buckets and only fishes for 3 hours, or sorry, 4 hours. So he fishes for 1 more hour than the other guy, right? He would get 880 encounters in those 4 hours, right? That's the person who does not use chum buckets. The person who goes and does a Jimmy run and then buys 3 chum buckets and has money left over for more in the future, that person is only going to fish for 3 hours, but they're going to do 440 encounters per hour, right? So this person is going to, they both spent they both play the game for 4 hours. They both play the game for 4 hours, but the person who did the Jimmy run and then went and bought chum buckets is doing 500 more encounters in the same time. That is insane. That is he is literally getting more than the other guy. Got 880 encounters. The other guy who gets 1320, he's literally getting over 50% more encounters, right? Like, it's a crazy. You have to factor in time as money. And I think one of the biggest concerns and I had this with RuneScape. I can speak on that. One of the biggest misconceptions as a newer player to MMOs or games where, like, you don't want to spend money because it feels so hard to make money and, like, you're just, like, scared to make Pokeyen, but time is money. If you can save time like that, you know, that is so much more valuable, right? You can always make the money back is a really important thing. So as a new player, don't be afraid to spend Pokeyen to, like, save money, in my opinion, especially like chum buckets. Like, it's just so, I would not fishing shunt without chum buckets. That's how stupidly broken they are, in my opinion. That's, like, kind of the problem with them, is, like, you have to use them to fishing shunt. But it does make fishing a lot faster, which is, you know, to each their own. So great question. Hopefully that math cleared some things up. It's kind of under talked about, but that is a great way, in my opinion. Like, shunting hunting's all mental. You have to understand, like, how you approach shunting. Your success, which is all gonna be a mental game. You see a lot of new players that come in and will go, like, 32,000 encounters dry and then kind of complain about it. And you can't be complaining 32k dry. Just you can physically, I can't stop you, but you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna be miserable if you go 32k dry and complain every time. You're going to be miserable, right? Versus because right, the reason why is there's only this is a shiny binomial distribution chart, which is, this is a chart about your odds of having gotten a shiny up until that point, right? So at 30,000 encounters, there is only a 63% chance that you would have gotten a shiny by that point. That means that 4 out of every 10 shunts, almost half of your shunts, are going to go dry. Like, it's gonna happen a lot. On average, almost half of your shunts are gonna go dry. You better get used to it. You know, it's one of those things, like, shunting is just hard. A lot of new players, I find, expect a shiny by 30k, but in reality, it's only like a 50% chance almost. I'm, like, you know, rounding down or whatever, but, like, at that point. But I think a big way to change that philosophy, I agree with this a lot. You can't even consider, at least this is what I do personally, I don't even consider the possibility of a shiny until 30k. For me, like, shunting begins at rate. Once you're at 30k, it's like, okay, maybe I could get a shiny now. Now the option is opened up, right? You're tricking it's a mental trick. You're literally tricking yourself just to make better. That's all shunting is. Shunting is honestly mentally tricking yourself to make better progress and fight harder and fight for longer. And it's an endurance test, you know? If you think to yourself, like, I don't deserve a shiny until I'm at least 30k dry, I think it's kind of funny and weird, but it's going to help you long term a lot. It's going to help you enjoy shunning, in my opinion, a lot more. That's how I feel about it. Thoughts on the Halloween event being over and why wisps and raids are still showing on screen? I don't know. I hope they remove it soon. That's actually no one's brought that up. It's a fantastic point. It's not like a big deal, but it's kind of annoying. I kind of want it off screen. No, you're kind of spitting facts. Dear devs, please remove this. The event isn't over. Oh, is it? Oh, that's, you can still turn stuff in, right? Until like tonight or some shit. That's true, right? There should be some way to see that actually. I can chip my pumpkin knife. That's what it is. It deleted in 3 hours. Yes. So yes, yeah. That's what it is. So in 3 hours these should disappear. So by the time you're watching the stream recap, these should actually be gone. But yeah, all your, oh, good reminder. It's gonna be too late for the stream recap. I'm so fucking sorry. If you have not sold all of your cookies, oh my god, go sell them. If you have not, reminder, alert, PSA, alert. If you have not sold all of your pumpkin cookies, your ghost cookies, all that stuff, battle items tab, go sell them. They're worth like 2,500 a piece. It's good Pokeyen, and I believe they get deleted, right? I believe they literally get deleted. The Pokemart. Make a community post. That's a great idea. That is the perfect example use of, yes, good call, missed. And alrighty, fellas, a little 4-hour stream to kick off the week, kick off getting back into the normal Pokemon swing of things. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the end of the stream recap. Like it if you did enjoy, dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon videos every single day. You can see the progress of how I prepare for the Christmas event coming up, and I'll do a guide in the future, but we still have a bit of time, so I'm not going to rush into it. Maybe look for like a Christmas prep guide towards the end of November or like early December. But for now, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you Tuesday. Have a great day. Enjoy Pokemon. Do what you love, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Peace, Reno.
Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to take this time to say thank you to everyone who goes above and beyond and supports my channel. Your names are all listed here. You make it possible for me to make helpful and mildly entertaining content for the game that I love and make it available for free for everyone to enjoy. Thank you so much for allowing me to even be here.